In May of 2022, I was working as a DoorDash driver for $14.82 an hour to make money while I was trying to get my business off the ground. 6 months later, I made $14,612.60 in revenue on Cyber Monday alone, with roughly 80% profit margins. In this video, I'm going to tell you the entire story of how I went from DoorDash driver to 5 figures in revenue in one day, and I'm going to break down the 6 painful lessons that I learned and show you how I would do it in half the time if I were to do it all over again. To give you some background, in May of 2022, I was finishing up filming a course that teaches insurance agents how to generate leads on Facebook. We had scheduled a promotion with a pretty large influencer in the insurance space for late July, which left us with 2.5 months of nothing planned to try to figure something out. With no revenue or profit or anything coming in from the business, I would DoorDash at night to make money to pay my bills and my mortgage. I remember driving around my city, listening to audiobooks and Alex Hormozi videos, just trying to find some piece of information that would help us. Since the business was bringing in no money, we had no money to spend on ads. Marketing strategy was to literally friend people on LinkedIn and DM them and try to set up a call so we could sell them our course. We did make some good connections, and I think it was a good experience to, go out and do the DM closing, but unfortunately we made no sales doing this. Our next strategy was to start putting out free content in insurance forums and post videos on YouTube teaching people how to do our strategy. Anytime we saw a question in one of the insurance forums, we would make a YouTube video answering the question and providing free value. At this point, we were still barely scraping by with the business. During the day, I would work on it all hours of the day, and at nighttime, I would DoorDash to pay the bills. Then, after 2.5 months of waiting, on July 28th, our video finally dropped with the influencer. We anxiously waited, refreshing our Stripe dashboard. 30 minutes went by, no sales. 45 minutes went by, no sales. An hour went by, no sales. For the last few months, I spent planning out, constructing, building, and filming this course for nothing. Me and my business partner decided to go to the gym to take our mind off of what was happening. And in between a set, we both got an email simultaneously, looked up at each other from across the gym, ran and dapped each other up in the middle of the gym. I know everybody around us thought we were crazy, but we were absolutely in shock. A weight had been lifted off of my chest. And no, I don't mean because I was at the gym. Over the next few hours, sale after sale came in. I put something on my Snapchat story that I would pay anybody that I knew $5 if they posted the YouTube video with the influencer on their story. And a ton of people posted it. I don't know if that contributed to any more sales, but it was a pretty cool thing to see everyone that I knew posting the video we were in. In our first week, we ended up doing over $7,000 in sales, gaining hundreds of new email subscribers overnight. However, our excitement would soon fade as we realized a massive mistake that we had made. After the first week or so, our sales started to slow down. Remember, all of our sales were just coming from that one video that had posted. After that video started to lose steam, our sales were drying up. So we scrambled to figure out what to do next. Our plan was to raise the price of the course from $297 to $397 and run an email promo notifying everybody of the price raise to try to squeeze out the last bit of sales that were left in the list. Now, obviously this worked. We ran up a few $1,000s out of that promo, and then just as soon as it had started, the sales came to a screeching halt yet again. So we did the exact same thing yet again. This time, we raised the price to $497. Again, our plan worked, but only temporarily. Then, at the beginning of September, something happened that absolutely wrecked our revenue and resulted in the lowest month since we had been in business. Up until this point, I was still living in my hometown in North Carolina. I had bought a house 2 years prior and moved in a bunch of my friends as my roommates to help me house hack. But at this point, I was ready for a change. My business partner and I had the bright idea to pack up everything that we owned and move across the country to Arizona. Problem was, our deadline to be in Arizona was October, and it was now the beginning of September. I still needed to sell everything that I owned, pack up, clean up, and do some repairs on my house, then list it and sell the house all in 1 month. And I had to do all of this while still growing the business, which was going to be my only source of income once I got to my new location. Needless to say, this was a massive distraction and absolutely wrecked our revenue for the entire month of September. However, we did make one decision that ultimately changed the course of our business and ultimately our lives. After seeing other business owners absolutely crush it with Facebook groups, we decided to start our own. So at this point, we were still posting, relatively consistently on YouTube. Again, the selling the house was a massive distraction. And then we would also post free content in insurance forums, but they were insurance forums that other people owned. So we decided it was time to create our own community so we could educate our clients and provide more value to nurture people into becoming our clients. Now, this group started off incredibly small. I think in our first week, we maybe got to 20 members, and that was with inviting our own friends on Facebook. But we kept on nurturing and growing the group. We would go live in the group, do live streams, we would do lead giveaways in the group, things like that. So the group kept growing. Starting this group would ultimately become one of the best decisions we had made to date. Then at the beginning of October, I packed up everything that I owned. I sold the rest of my stuff, all my furniture, all of everything, packed it up into my Tesla and drove cross country to Arizona. Me and my dog slept in my car for a few nights on our way out until we finally reached our destination. With a newfound focus in my new location and nothing to do but work, we poured into the business. The Facebook group and YouTube channel started to explode. We hosted live streams and offered tons of free value to the group members, which ultimately turned into more sales. We even hosted a challenge because we had just moved and had nothing in the house, that until our group hit a certain number, we wouldn't be able to buy office furniture. So we worked in camping chairs for months. All of this ultimately helped build up the culture of the group and get excitement around our business. Now remember, up until this point, we were really just mainly selling the course, but that was all about to change. We decided to introduce a higher ticket offer at around $3,000. We sent out a promo to our email list in late October and had a $15,000 week. But we knew that in a month, we would have to come out with something big for Black Friday. Me, my business partner, and our top sales guy all hopped on a phone call to brainstorm a killer offer for Black Friday. After watching an Alex Hormozi video, we came up with the perfect idea. I won't bore you with the exact details of what we did, but if you want to know, look up Alex Hormozi Black Friday on YouTube and that will give you a hint. We did a live stream in our Facebook group and booked 4 full days of sales appointments over the following few days. And on Cyber Monday, we did $14,612.60, bringing our total for Black Friday Cyber Monday to $28,186.89 in total sales with about 80% profit margin. So that was the story of how I went from making $14.82 as a DoorDash driver to almost $15,000 in sales in a single day in only 6 months. Now, here are the biggest lessons that I learned during that process and how if I were to do it all over again, I could cut that time in half and do it in 3 months instead. Now, the first lesson that I learned is the number one thing you want to do when you're first starting a business is to get a case study. When you have no rep in the industry, you have to get a successful student that's willing to vouch for your name. I didn't mention this in the story, but one of the things that really helped elevate us to new heights was actually offering our service for free to somebody who we knew could close deals. So they ultimately ended up proving our system worked and other people wanted to jump on board because they saw the success. So if you're creating an offer, especially if it's like a service-based offer or even a product that delivers a result, give it to somebody for free and make sure that they achieve the result. And then when you try to sell it to other people, and then you already have undeniable proof that your product works. The second lesson that I learned is to start a community like a Facebook group or a Discord. Ultimately, depending on how old your audience is and who your target market is, would depend on which one I would start. But having some sort of community that incentivizes people to check into it every day ultimately keeps you top of their mind and will result in you making more sales over the long term. In that community, you can also nurture all of your customers, offer tons of free value, and your current clients will post testimonials without you even asking in the community to help the other members. And the third lesson that I learned, this one seems kind of obvious, but it's really just to offer free value to your customers. I know a lot of people kind of have some reservations to doing this because they have that whole mindset of, oh, if I give them everything for free, why would they pay me for it? But that's an entirely false way of looking at things. If you give first and ask on the back end, people are much more likely to want what you offer that's paid if they enjoy what they got for free. Not to mention, the way that they'll find you is they'll look you up on YouTube or they'll find your free stuff and then ultimately get funneled into your paid stuff. So here's how I would structure it. I would give, and then ask. All right, and number 4 is to focus on one product and one avatar. Now, we kind of broke this rule a little bit because we offered the course and then we ultimately offered the higher ticket offer. But the difference is the course has no fulfillment. So if you're selling an info product that literally the only fulfillment is them clicking buy and then you granting them access. But the more important part of that statement is to focus on one avatar. So for us, it was insurance agents. Within insurance agents, we got even more narrow and only targeted people that sold a specific type of insurance. And by doing that, our business exploded. If you get really, really good at serving one type of person who does one specific type of thing and get really good at that, your business will explode. The most powerful thing that you have is your attention and focus. And if it's divided amongst a bunch of different avatars and a bunch of different customers, you're not going to be able to serve each of them as well. So start narrow, start focused, and then as you grow and your business gets bigger and better, you can start offering more things to more people. But in the very beginning, you should only go for one. All right, and number 5, ultimately to get rich, you got to sell rich. You got to sell high ticket stuff. Okay. Now, there's no advantage, and I'm stealing this from Alex Hormozy, there's no advantage to being the second lowest priced person in the market. If you want to try to be the cheapest and sell to everybody, that's fine, but you're going to be competing in an entirely different market than what you more than likely think that you're getting into. If you're trying to sell the cheapest, you just have to focus on getting your costs down really low. But the advantage of selling high ticket is you can offer a better service. So the more expensive that you sell something, the more room you have and the more margin you have to improve your product and your offering. If I'm selling something at $1,000, my margin to pour back into the product and pour back into my business, which ultimately serves the customers, is less. But if I sell at $3,000 or $5,000 or even $10,000, all of that extra money in between, I can fund back into my business to ultimately make my service better, which ultimately makes me and my clients more money. Typically, also when you sell higher ticket, you're going to serve a better customer that has less complaints and less questions. All right, and number 6, honestly, this one should have been pretty obvious. I can't believe that we didn't see this, but just don't rely on promotions. Your business should not be based on a sales cycle. Let me explain. Whenever you offer a discount, in a way, you're kind of devaluing your product. If you're building up your pipeline with all these customers that are interested, and then every time you offer a promo, you squeeze everybody out of the pipeline and they all buy at a discounted price, they're going to be expecting and waiting to buy until the next promo. So if you continue to offer promotions and sales and discounts, people are just not going to trust you and not going to want to buy when you're selling your stuff at a regular price. Plus, if you're doing what we did at the very beginning of our business, which was relying on, a video with an influencer or something like that, your business is going to be really start and stop. It's going to be very choppy and hard to predict. So what you need to do is focus on building your own acquisition channels, not just relying on one video from one influencer. That is going to wrap up everything. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Be sure to like the video, comment below what you guys want to see next, and subscribe for more content like this. I appreciate you guys, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.